Welcome to another video, and in today's video we are in the 2018 Mustang Ecoboost. Now I know I'm in another Mustang and I have about 3 videos up already about the 2018 Mustang, but I do not have an Ecoboost one yet. So this one is equipped with a 10-speed automatic transmission, and this basically is your base Mustang. You know, you have the base cloth interior and just some quick things that's a difference between the Ecoboost and the GT Mustangs, especially the premiums that I've been driving. Right off the bat, like I said, with the seat, you have the cloth seats in here, and they did do a little a little touch up with the seats as far as coming from the 2015 to 17 Mustangs, those cloth seats. Now these Ecoboost seats, at least in this particular Mustang, has the actual word Mustang in it, and it's like a little design that I do kind of like. You know, it is actually pretty interesting. This one does not have power seats on the driver or the passenger side, so that is something that's different from my V6 Mustang. Aside from the seats, everything is basically in the same place. Now they do have the Mustang emblem in the passenger seat. It doesn't say since 1964 anymore. It just says Mustang with the running pony. The shifter right here is the exact same as the 15 through 17 Mustangs. Paddle shifter is in the exact same place. Only thing that you can really tell that's different, like I said, the seats and the actual wheel is kind of wrapped in a different leather material here for the 2018 and up Mustangs. So that is a nice touch, but for the most part the interior actually seems to be the same. Now moving on to the outside of the vehicle, now this basically, like I said, being the base Mustang, it comes around at around $28,000, and base isn't really a thing because, like I said, in the interior there's so much in these cars and whatnot, and on the outside you still retain all of the looks of the Mustang. You don't really look too off from the GT. This one actually does not have a spoiler, and also in the rear end of the car you also have a very nice diffuser, which is really a big upgrade from the previous generation. That's a big thing I didn't like about my Mustang, was that I didn't have a diffuser. It was color matched to the car and it just looked awful, and I added a diffuser on myself aftermarket, but I'm definitely glad that they started adding those from the factory. Also, if you look at in the rear end, you have some very nice exhaust tips back there as well that complement the diffuser very nicely. That's another gripe that I had with the Mustang, is that the exhaust tips for the Ecoboost were really thin and just didn't look good. And these definitely look a lot better, and just better put together basically. And also moving alongside the vehicle, you have these very nice tires and wheels. They are the base wheels, so a lot of people might want to change those out, but you do have a decent, they're decent. I'll leave it at that. They're not the best design wheel ever, but they look nice, and most likely most people will end up changing those. Also, like I said, when you're retaining the looks of the Mustang, like I said, the Ecoboost doesn't, look too far off. You also have the same hood as the GT Mustang, which is quite interesting because a lot of, for the past couple years, the V6 and Ecoboost have not had the hood vents. So in these ones, you do have the hood vents now. Particularly, you can't really see the hood vents from when you're sitting in the car, so it's only something you can see from the outside. But it is nice that you do have those hood vents there. Just like I said, keeping the overall Mustang look, you're not really too far off. And then also moving down to the grille, this is a big change and something that I think a lot of people would kind of want optioned on the GT, is to not have that gloss grille that the GTs come with, because it's not really matching up with the bottom half of the grille. This one does not have the gloss on the top or the lower. And another thing that they did change for the 2018 year model compared to the 15 to 17 S550s is that the upper grille is honeycomb and the bottom is not honeycomb. And the only Mustangs that were like that were the V6 Mustangs like mine, so I don't have a honeycomb upper and lower like the Ecoboost does for the 15 through 17. So it is a small difference, but those are a couple of things to note. So we're going to go ahead and set off in the 2018 Mustang Ecoboost, and this is going to be basically a quick drive. And what I'm really interested to see is how this 10-speed automatic does with the new Ecoboost. Now when I say new Ecoboost, it's basically the same engine, but they did upgrade the power a bit. Now the Ecoboost is making 350 pound-feet of torque compared to the 320 pound-feet of torque that it was making previously, and it's still making the same 310 horsepower. So I'm going to go ahead and put the transmission in the sport mode, and I'm going to go ahead and allow the 10-speed automatic transmission to start me in first gear, because a lot of people know that this Mustang, or at least this particular engine, does not benefit really from top-end power. Basically all the power for the Ecoboost is always been at the bottom. So have the car in first gear, not going to push it too hard, but let's go ahead and get on the gas here. Okay, so it's definitely not the same as the Mustang GT. If you guys have seen my reviews with that, you know, it's a lot more exhilarating. The sound is completely different. That's another thing to mention here. The sound with the Ecoboost really has not changed for the 2018 year model. They haven't really, you know, done anything with the exhaust. It's basically still the same sound as, you know, compared to the Mustang GTs. They've changed their stock exhaust, and that note just sounds better from the factory. You know, these are kind of hard to make the sound good. But you know, you do have this nice induction noise from the turbo, if you guys can hear that right there. So that does sound really nice with that going on there. And you know, like I said, you can't put in an aftermarket exhaust system with that on these cars. And another thing, talking about the aftermarket side, these vehicles have been known to make a ton of power with just a tune. It's really incredible what people have been able to do with these Ecoboost Mustangs, just a tune and the simple bolt-ons and whatnot. So you know, there always is that potential to basically improve these cars. And you know, I definitely would like to see what these things run at the track with the new 10-speed automatic transmission that they have in them. Let's go ahead and get on the gas here one more time. So it's definitely not slow by any means. It's just slower than the actual Mustang GT. Like I said, that thing has 460 horsepower. This thing has 310. And you do still have this car feeling like it's falling on its face, especially in the higher RPMs. Like I said, it definitely is fast and ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and put the car in the drive mode here and see how it does, you know, when you're just cruising and say I want to accelerate. So let's go ahead and put my foot down a bit. So you can definitely tell that the transmission is fast. It got what I wanted to do just like that. I've already discussed that in another video that I have up on the channel. But you know, it definitely is interesting to see how this is paired with this Ecoboost engine. And I definitely feel like, in my personal opinion, the manual transmission for this car definitely does improve the driving experience overall. I think that it adds to that little peppy factor. You know, it makes you push you back in your seat, you know, shifting really hard or whatnot with this with the manual transmission is going to be more fun and whatnot. But like I said in my previous videos, the 10-speed automatic is going to be your faster option around the track, whether it be a road course or drag strip. It's going to be the faster option all the way around. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But especially in this car, the GT is a different case because it has more power. But with this car, I definitely feel like, you know, the manual is kind of needed in my opinion. Like I said, I feel like the GT, you know, it's more debatable, but in my opinion, I feel like it's more one-sided within this car. Like I said, just my opinion. Like I said that 3 times, but I feel like the manual transmission for the Ecoboost is better suited just for the car's personality and whatnot. And it's going to be more fun. Not saying that this is boring at all, because I mean, like I said, this thing shifts really fast. Just downshifted to third for me, second for me, and just hitting the gas. But yeah, like I said, and it definitely doesn't benefit from power on the higher end of the spectrum there, but it definitely is interesting to see how this 10-speed is with this Ecoboost engine. And we're gonna go ahead and take on this back road here for a second and see how it does handling wise. And it definitely does rocket through the turns right there. I just was in second gear and hit the gas a little bit, and it definitely does, you know, the sound is interesting. You know, a lot of people say the sound is fake on these cars, but it still sounds good. At least in the cabin you have a nice throaty induction noise. And the transmission is definitely really quick to shift, like I've already discussed. This car is not slow by far at all. Like, in any means, the Mustang is not slow. You're not gonna find at least a 2011 and up slow Mustang. They're, you know, of course there are faster cars like the Hellcat and whatnot, but you know, fast is definitely not a problem with any type of Mustang. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video, do one little bus forward here, see how it goes around this turn. Definitely really flat, no doubt about that. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. Tell me what you guys think of the 2018 Mustang as far as with the Ecoboost. Like I said, the sound is a little different and whatnot. Definitely is interesting seeing how it does with the 10-speed automatic transmission, but it definitely still is a fun car, and I feel like you are getting the Mustang experience when owning this thing. So leave a comment down below. Tell me guys, you know, what you think of the 2018 Mustang, whether you think it's better with a manual or an automatic, and I'll catch you guys in another video.